Life in Ukraine begins every day with the morning sun filtering through thin curtains in small apartments or large high-rises where people wake up to the sound of alarms, the smell of coffee, fresh bread, and the noise of traffic outside. Adults rushing to prepare children for school, preparing breakfast, talking about plans for the day, work, the rising prices of goods, how hard it is to find necessities, and how important it is to stay optimistic and support each other. Because life here is a constant balance between hardships and small joys, between fears and hopes, between what exists and what one desires. And you see people hurrying through the streets of Kiev, Lviv, Kharkiv, Odessa, or small towns in the east and west, exchanging news, some smiling at strangers, others frustrated by traffic jams or late buses, yet all motivated to move forward, work, study, live. And even in the most difficult moments, people find time for coffee with a friend, for a short conversation, for hugs and laughter, because here closeness and warmth are valued. And even when clouds of war or economic instability hover over the country, people's hearts do not lose their rhythm. They continue to take small steps that together form life. You see farmers in the fields going out early in the morning to work the soil, feeling the scent of fresh earth, watching the sunrise, observing birds returning to the forests. You see people in cities trying to manage everything, checking the news on phones, answering calls, planning purchases, working in offices, shops, factories, hospitals filled with patients, yet doctors, nurses, and volunteers do everything possible to help. And even in the darkest hours there is hope, because people organize charity events, collect money, food, clothes, support those in need. And this is part of life, which here is as complex as it is beautiful. People celebrate birthdays, weddings, Memorial days, sing Ukrainian songs, cook borscht and dumplings, preserve traditions even when modernity tries to mix everything together, because culture and roots give strength to keep living and believing in the future. And you see students in libraries, in cafes, preparing for exams, discussing projects, youth striving to change the country, develop technology, art, sports, dreaming of traveling, of a world open to them, while at the same time understanding the value of their native land, of their people. Because life here is not just about survival but about resilience, love, care, struggle for better, joy in simple things. A child's smile, the taste of fresh bread, the warmth of a neighbor's greeting, the sound of church bells on a quiet morning, the laughter of friends in a park, the feeling of walking through streets where history and modern life collide, where every corner holds stories of struggle and hope. And even when the news reports destruction, conflicts, economic troubles, everyday life continues. People shop at markets where vendors call out prices, barter, exchange greetings, students hurry to classes, office workers commute, elderly sit on benches watching the world pass, children play in courtyards, street musicians perform in metro stations, cafes are filled with conversations about dreams and worries, families gather at tables with homemade meals, neighbors help each other carry groceries, repair homes, share stories from the past. The wind blows through streets lined with a mix of old Soviet buildings and modern architecture, graffiti expressing art and protest, flags waving in the wind, murals depicting heroes and culture. And throughout all this there is a sense of persistence, a desire to live fully, to celebrate moments of joy, to support each other during difficulties, to educate children with hope, to work on projects that might change the future, to care for elders, to nurture friendships, to preserve traditions, to invent new ways of creating. And you can see this resilience in every person you meet, in every smile, in every effort, from small acts of kindness to large initiatives. Because life in Ukraine is a constant interplay of struggle and beauty, hardship and celebration, fear and hope, sorrow and laughter, a place where ordinary moments are precious, where the simplest things, a shared meal, a sunny day, a child's laughter, carry profound meaning, where the past informs the present, and the present shapes dreams of the future, where despite challenges, people look forward, find ways to grow, to love, to celebrate, to remember, to hope, to build, to fight for what matters, to be together, to create, to endure, to imagine, to dream, to act. And through all this, life moves forward in one continuous rhythm, a river of experiences, emotions, actions, thoughts, memories, hopes and plans, flowing through cities, towns, villages, through fields, forests, rivers, streets, homes, schools, workplaces, markets, squares, parks, cafes, factories, hospitals, libraries, and every corner where Ukrainians live, breathe, love, work, cry, laugh, hope, fear, and persevere. Because living here means facing the unpredictability of life with courage, finding beauty in ordinary moments, cherishing family and friends, honoring traditions while embracing modernity, protecting the land, celebrating achievements, mourning losses, and always moving forward, knowing that each day is a mix of challenges and joys, small victories and setbacks, moments of reflection and action, quiet evenings and bustling mornings, warm greetings and distant farewells, crowded streets and peaceful fields, noisy cities and silent forests, moments of celebration and moments of grief, all blending into a continuous experience of life that is uniquely Ukrainian. Rich, complex, beautiful, difficult, inspiring, human, resilient, hopeful, determined, emotional, reflective, connected, independent, loving, enduring, evolving, challenging, rewarding, communal, personal, national, global, traditional, modern, turbulent, peaceful, simple, complex, everyday, extraordinary, fleeting, lasting, fragile, strong, joyful, sorrowful, loud, quiet, fast, slow, ordinary, unique, and ultimately life. People continue their routines with resilience, waking up to new challenges each day, balancing jobs and family responsibilities, navigating public transport, walking through crowded streets or quiet alleys, noticing the mix of modern advertisements and historic architecture, the remnants of the past visible in old buildings, monuments, and street names, while new constructions emerge, signaling progress, hope, and development. Children go to school with backpacks heavier than their shoulders, but hearts full of curiosity. Teachers prepare lessons, some underpaid but dedicated, guiding the next generation with knowledge and patience. Families gather for meals that are both simple and meaningful, sharing stories from their day, discussing news about the economy, local events, or global affairs, sometimes debating politics but always returning to the bonds of family and friendship. In markets, vendors call out prices, exchange smiles and greetings, occasionally haggle, yet always creating a sense of community and connection. The aroma of fresh bread, roasted coffee, pastries, and seasonal fruits fills the air, reminding people of home, tradition, and comfort. While urban parks offer spaces for relaxation, children's laughter, and elderly walking slowly, remembering times long past, small towns show a quieter rhythm, where neighbors know each other by name, help with chores, share harvests, and maintain close bonds that urban life often makes difficult to preserve. And despite hardships, people celebrate, singing traditional songs, preparing borscht, vareniki, holubtsai, decorating homes for holidays, honoring family legacies, festivals and rituals, creating continuity with the past. Even as technology connects everyone to a wider world through phones, social media, and the internet, offering information, entertainment, opportunities, but also challenges, pressures, and comparisons, people navigate these dualities with remarkable adaptability, embracing change while holding on to what matters most. They volunteer to help refugees, collect supplies for the military, participate in civic initiatives, organize cultural events, teach children about history, art, and the natural world, plant trees, maintain gardens, engage in sports, painting, music, writing, ensuring that life remains rich, vibrant, and purposeful. Cities like Kyiv, Lviv, Kharkiv, Odessa, Dnipro buzz with activity. Young entrepreneurs open cafes, startups, co-working spaces, tech hubs, promoting innovation and creativity, while traditional markets, street musicians, and local artisans preserve the essence of Ukrainian culture. The blend of old and new, past and future, hardship and hope, creates a unique energy that is felt by residents and visitors alike. In the East, communities rebuild from conflict, displaying courage, solidarity, and resilience, sharing meals, stories, and support, finding small joys in everyday acts of kindness. In the West, hills, forests, rivers, and historic towns preserve centuries of history and heritage, inviting reflection, pride, and creativity. Universities and schools shape minds, fostering ambition, critical thinking, and awareness. Youth participate in local and international initiatives, volunteer abroad, learn languages, engage with global trends while staying rooted in their culture. Families gather to pass down folklore, songs, and culinary traditions. Summer evenings are spent in gardens, balconies, parks, or riversides. People walking dogs, talking, laughing, enjoying sunsets. Moments of quiet reflection. Sometimes the sky darkens. Storms remind people of nature's power, the importance of community support, and the transient nature of life. Yet despite uncertainty, people wake each morning determined to persevere, pursue education, work, art, relationships, and dreams, balancing joy and sorrow, laughter and tears, challenges and achievements, celebrating small victories as much as large ones. Life in Ukraine is a mosaic of experiences, a tapestry woven from the threads of everyday reality, culture, struggle, achievement, loss, hope, love, work, family, friendship, tradition, and innovation, each person contributing to the ongoing story of a nation, resilient, evolving, rich in heritage, diverse in thought, united in spirit. Navigating global pressures, local struggles, personal ambitions, communal responsibilities, finding meaning and beauty in ordinary and extraordinary moments, in sunrises and sunsets, in quiet mornings and bustling evenings, in homes, streets, schools, hospitals, factories, farms, cafes, parks, libraries, churches, and public squares, life flows continuously, a rhythm of human endeavor, memory, imagination, and emotion, shaping the present while dreaming of the future, a relentless, vibrant, persistent journey through hardship and joy, challenge and triumph, fear and courage, loss and hope, sorrow and celebration, a testament to the enduring human spirit, where every act of kindness, every shared meal, every smile, every creative endeavor, every moment of reflection, every effort to help, every personal achievement contributes to a collective narrative of resilience, culture, and life, weaving an unbroken chain of experiences that define what it means to live in Ukraine, a land of contrasts, complexity, richness, endurance, history, beauty, struggle, and inspiration, where life is simultaneously ordinary and extraordinary, fragile and strong, fleeting and lasting, challenging and rewarding, communal and deeply personal, shaping identities, communities, and futures, demanding courage, empathy, and creativity, rewarding perseverance, compassion, and ingenuity, offering moments of peace, joy, and fulfillment amid trials, embodying the human desire to live fully, connect deeply, grow continuously, hope endlessly, love fiercely, imagine freely, act decisively, remember faithfully, dream boldly, care selflessly, create persistently, celebrate meaningfully, reflect profoundly, endure patiently, evolve consciously, embrace change, honor the past, nurture the present, and shape the future. And so each day passes, a continuous thread of existence, interwoven with stories, struggles, celebrations, aspirations, and memories, a river of life that moves through every city, village, field, forest, river, home, workplace, school, market, park, library, cafe, church, street, and landscape in Ukraine, connecting people, experiences, emotions, and generations in a shared journey of living, learning, loving, working, creating, enduring, and dreaming. People continue to wake up in their homes, some small apartments in bustling cities, some houses in quiet villages, hearing the familiar sounds of morning, the rustle of curtains, the clinking of dishes, the distant hum of traffic, the chirping of birds, children getting ready for school, parents preparing breakfast and lunch boxes, discussing plans for the day, work schedules, school projects, news about local and international events, the rising prices at markets, the availability of goods, and how best to support family members and neighbors, as life in Ukraine is a mix of routine, responsibility, and constant adaptation to changing circumstances, with citizens finding ways to balance work, family, and personal life, walking through streets lined with old buildings showing centuries of history, Soviet-era apartments, modern glass constructions, murals, street art, small shops, cafes, libraries, and churches, the atmosphere buzzing with energy, conversations, laughter, and sometimes tension, yet always underpinned by resilience and a strong sense of community. Farmers rise early to tend to fields, sowing seeds, harvesting crops, checking equipment, observing the weather, planning for future seasons, teaching children about the land, while in cities people commute to offices, factories, hospitals, schools, universities, balancing responsibilities, deadlines, and relationships. Students gather in libraries and cafes, preparing for exams, discussing ideas, collaborating on projects, teachers plan lessons, doctors attend patients, volunteers coordinate support for those in need, neighbors help each other, families gather for meals, celebrating traditions while navigating modern challenges. Holidays are times of gathering, singing, cooking, remembering ancestors, telling stories, sharing recipes, teaching children the importance of family and heritage. Festivals bring communities together, showcasing music, dance, crafts, culinary traditions, and local pride. People laugh and cry, worry and hope, argue and reconcile, live in moments of joy and sorrow, sometimes disrupted by external challenges such as conflict, economic uncertainty, or political changes. Yet even during hardships, acts of kindness, creativity, and solidarity emerge, illustrating the enduring human spirit. Small towns offer slower rhythms, familiar faces, neighborly gestures, communal work, gardening, fishing, local markets where everyone knows each other, while large cities offer opportunities for innovation, entrepreneurship, culture, technology, education, entertainment, and exposure to the wider world. Museums, galleries, theaters, music venues, sports arenas, and cultural centers enrich lives, reminding people of their history, their creativity, and their potential. Families continue to celebrate milestones, birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, children learning values of compassion, diligence, resilience, and hope, elders sharing wisdom, memories, and traditions, streets filled with the aroma of food, fresh pastries, coffee, seasonal fruits and vegetables, conversations in cafes and markets, laughter in parks and courtyards, the sounds of music from radios, street performers, and celebrations, while technological connectivity links people to global ideas, opportunities, challenges, and perspectives, blending tradition and modernity, maintaining a sense of identity while embracing progress. People engage in civic activities, volunteering, participating in local initiatives, advocating for change, helping rebuild communities affected by conflict, ensuring education and health services reach all, planting trees, cleaning public spaces, mentoring youth, creating art, writing, producing music, fostering innovation, opening small businesses, supporting local economy, sharing resources, helping neighbors, teaching children values of empathy and responsibility, all while navigating the daily realities of work, study, family life, weather, transportation, bureaucracy, and societal expectations, as life flows continuously through the seasons, each bringing new challenges and joys, from snowy winters where people shovel streets, light stoves, celebrate holidays, to warm summers where families picnic, swim, travel, enjoy festivals, observe natural beauty, and engage in community life. Autumns filled with harvests, festivals, preparation for colder months, and springs bringing renewal, growth, and hope, throughout which people persevere, adapt, create, and celebrate, telling stories, learning from experiences, passing down knowledge, nurturing creativity, building relationships, seeking justice, achieving personal and collective goals, dreaming of better futures, sustaining hope, loving, caring, growing, surviving, thriving, struggling, and celebrating, all of which together form a continuous narrative of life in Ukraine, a narrative rich in contrasts, blending ordinary and extraordinary, hardship and triumph, sorrow and joy, loss and love, simplicity and complexity, quiet reflection and bustling activity, tradition and innovation, nature and urbanity, past and future, individual and collective, local and global, resilience and vulnerability, courage and fear, determination and doubt, creativity and routine, laughter and tears, patience and urgency, connection and independence, responsibility and freedom, forming a tapestry of human experience, culture, history, community, and identity, where each person's story contributes to the greater story of a nation, its land, its people, and its enduring spirit, flowing continuously like a river of life, through cities, towns, villages, fields, forests, rivers, streets, homes, schools, offices, factories, markets, parks, libraries, cafes, churches, squares, monuments, and landscapes, connecting generations, experiences, emotions, actions, memories, hopes, dreams, and efforts into a seamless stream of existence, a living testimony to resilience, courage, creativity, love, hope, and the unbroken human desire to live, grow, learn, create, endure, and dream, where every act of kindness, every shared meal, every smile, every creative endeavor, every personal achievement, every helping hand, every teaching moment, every celebration, every reflection, every effort, and every small victory contributes to the collective narrative of life, history, culture, and humanity, making life in Ukraine a rich, complex, beautiful, challenging, inspiring, enduring, evolving, and profoundly human experience that continues each day, flowing, growing, connecting, and shaping the future while honoring the past, sustaining the present, and imagining what is yet to come, with each sunrise bringing new opportunities, each sunset a moment of reflection, and each human interaction a chance to connect, learn, teach, love, hope, persevere, and contribute to the continuous, unbroken river of life, in one endless, flowing, intricate, vibrant, resilient, and beautiful story of existence, community, culture, struggle, triumph, tradition, innovation, hardship, joy, love, hope, growth, endurance, and humanity. Each day continues with people rising early, some to the sound of alarms, others to the birds singing outside windows, children stretching and yawning before heading to school with backpacks full of books and dreams, parents preparing breakfast, coffee, and sandwiches, discussing with each other what the day may bring, how work will go, what groceries are needed, how the weather will affect travel or farming, how the electricity and heating systems might respond, neighbors exchanging greetings and news, the rhythm of life flowing through. Streets filled with cars, buses, bicycles, pedestrians, the chatter of people on phones, street vendors calling out prices, the aroma of fresh bread, coffee, roasted meat, vegetables, fruits, pastries filling the air, school children laughing, playing, arguing, sharing homework, teachers guiding lessons, doctors attending patients in hospitals, nurses administering medicine and care, volunteers coordinating support for those affected by conflict or hardship, families gathering for meals and celebrations, sharing stories, laughing, comforting one another, remembering ancestors, passing down recipes, songs, folktales, holidays observed with both solemnity and joy, festivals showcasing music, dance, crafts, and cuisine, artists performing in streets, galleries, theaters, students studying late into the night, young entrepreneurs opening cafes, tech startups, and small businesses, all the while adapting to the changing economy, political developments, and global trends. Farmers working fields from dawn till dusk, tending crops, harvesting fruits and vegetables, teaching children about the land, weather patterns and seasons, artisans creating pottery, textiles, woodwork, painters capturing scenes of life, tradition and nature, musicians composing songs, singing, performing in public squares, blending folk and modern styles, writers penning stories, essays, and poems that capture the soul of the nation, citizens volunteering to rebuild schools, homes, and public spaces, planting trees, cleaning streets, mentoring youth, organizing community events, activists advocating for human rights, environmental protection, and education, elders sharing wisdom, memories, and guidance, children learning to read, write, and understand the world around them, friends meeting in cafes, parks, and libraries, discussing dreams, fears, politics, art, and technology, couples walking hand in hand through city streets, villages, or countryside paths, reflecting on life, making plans, sharing hope, and supporting each other, the seasons shifting with snow, rain, wind, and sun, bringing new challenges, joys, and opportunities, winter evenings spent with family around warm stoves, cooking traditional meals, celebrating holidays, summer days for swimming, picnics, festivals, gardening, autumn harvests bringing communities together to collect crops, prepare for winter, celebrate bounty, spring renewal bringing growth, planting, and hope, people balancing personal ambitions with family obligations, social responsibilities, cultural participation, professional duties, and educational goals, all interwoven with moments of laughter, sorrow, fear, courage, and determination. Life flowing as an unbroken thread of experiences, emotions, actions, reflections, and dreams, where each smile, shared meal, act of kindness, personal achievement, creative work, teaching moment, volunteer effort, or small victory contributes to the larger narrative of a resilient, enduring, vibrant, evolving, and beautiful nation, where history meets modernity, tradition blends with innovation, ordinary moments carry profound meaning, communities connect across generations, and each individual plays a role in shaping the present and imagining the future, where joy, sorrow, fear, hope, work, play, love, struggle, celebration, reflection, learning, teaching, creation, endurance, and imagination coexist in a continuous river of life that moves through every city, town, village, home, field, forest, river, school, office, hospital, cafe, park, library, church, street, market, factory, and landscape in Ukraine, connecting people, experiences, memories, actions, emotions, and aspirations into a seamless, unbroken story of existence, resilience, culture, humanity, and hope, where despite challenges, hardships, uncertainty, and fear, the human spirit continues to thrive, create, love, nurture, dream, work, learn, teach, celebrate, reflect, and endure, forming a continuous tapestry of life that is simultaneously ordinary and extraordinary, fragile and strong, fleeting and lasting, quiet and loud, slow and fast, simple and complex, challenging and rewarding, communal and deeply personal, reflecting the richness, depth, and complexity of living in Ukraine, where each act, thought, emotion, and effort contributes to the collective experience, shaping the community, the culture, the nation, and the individual in one long, unbroken, flowing, continuous story of life, growth, resilience, hope, creativity, love, struggle, joy, tradition, innovation, challenge, triumph, reflection, learning, teaching, caring, enduring, dreaming, imagining, acting, connecting, celebrating, remembering, persevering, evolving, and living fully. People wake up in Kiev, Lviv, Kharkiv, Odessa, Dnipro, small towns and villages scattered across Ukraine, stretching, yawning, preparing for the day, checking the weather, reviewing messages on their phones. Some heading to schools with backpacks heavy with books, pencils, and notebooks filled with hopes, some heading to offices, shops, hospitals, or factories, some heading to the fields to tend crops, watch over livestock, plan harvests, repair machinery, teach children the ways of the land, all moving with purpose and determination despite challenges. Families gather at breakfast tables, sharing tea, coffee, bread, eggs, cheese, discussing plans, worries, dreams, recent news about local events. Politics, economy, global affairs, neighbors exchanging greetings, vendors calling out prices, the smell of fresh bread, pastries, coffee, roasted meats, seasonal fruits and vegetables filling the air, street musicians performing in metro stations or squares, children playing in parks, laughing, running, chasing each other, elders sitting on benches recalling memories, sharing stories with grandchildren, youth studying late into the night, preparing presentations, projects, exams, working part-time jobs, volunteering, young entrepreneurs opening small cafes, tech startups, artisans creating pottery, textiles, paintings, musicians composing songs blending folk and modern melodies, writers drafting essays, novels, poetry that capture the soul of their land, volunteers distributing supplies to those affected by conflict, citizens organizing charity drives, teaching children, planting trees, cleaning public spaces, organizing cultural events, schools filled with learning, creativity, discussions about history, science, arts, technology, children learning values of compassion, diligence, responsibility, families celebrating birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, preparing traditional meals, singing, dancing, observing rituals, festivals showcasing local crafts, music, dance, cuisine, the streets alive with chatter, laughter, debate, reflection, resilience, courage, adaptation, the rhythm of life shifting with seasons, winter bringing snow, cold winds, cozy evenings by stoves, families cooking borscht, vareniki, holubtsai, sharing stories, summer bringing long days, picnics, swimming, festivals, outdoor concerts, gardening, autumn harvests bringing communities together to collect, preserve, and celebrate bounty, spring bringing renewal, growth, planting, and hope, people balancing personal ambition with social and family obligations, cultural participation, professional duties, education, civic engagement, navigating modern challenges, technology, global influences, urban development, environmental concerns, economic pressures, political changes, yet persevering, acting, creating, loving, helping, learning, teaching, celebrating, reflecting, enduring, dreaming, imagining, planning, working, connecting, nurturing, each action a thread in the tapestry of life, each person's story contributing to the collective narrative of Ukraine, resilience, community, culture, history, and humanity, life flowing continuously through cities, towns, villages, fields, forests, rivers, streets, homes, workplaces, schools, offices, hospitals, markets, parks, libraries, cafes, churches, monuments, and landscapes, connecting generations, experiences, emotions, actions, memories, hopes, and dreams, a seamless, unbroken story of existence, where every smile, every shared meal, every act of kindness, every creative endeavor, every teaching moment, every volunteer effort, every personal achievement, every small victory contributes to the ongoing narrative of life. Tradition, innovation, hardship, triumph, joy, sorrow, love, hope, growth, endurance, creativity, learning, teaching, caring, reflecting, celebrating, imagining, acting, connecting, persevering, evolving, surviving, thriving, each sunrise a new beginning, each sunset a moment of reflection, and every human interaction a chance to connect, learn, teach, love, hope, persevere, and contribute to the continuous river of life, where ordinary moments carry profound meaning, communities are bonded by shared experiences, streets are filled with energy, homes with laughter and stories, markets with smells and voices, schools with curiosity and learning, hospitals with care and determination, fields with labor and growth, parks with play and relaxation, cities with ambition and innovation, villages with tradition and continuity, festivals with music, dance, and celebration, every act and thought contributing to the richness, complexity, and beauty of living in Ukraine. A nation of contrasts, resilience, creativity, tradition, innovation, hardship, triumph, love, hope, struggle, reflection, joy, sorrow, laughter, tears, learning, teaching, caring, working, dreaming, imagining, acting, connecting, celebrating, enduring, evolving, surviving, thriving, persevering, reflecting, remembering, honoring, creating, and living fully, where the river of life flows uninterrupted, rich with stories, experiences, challenges, victories, culture, history, and humanity, and every person is part of that ongoing story, shaping the present, remembering the past, and imagining the future, a continuous, unbroken, flowing, intricate, vibrant, resilient, and beautiful narrative of life in Ukraine, filled with ordinary and extraordinary moments, simple and complex experiences, quiet reflection and bustling activity, hardship and joy, fear and courage, loss and love, patience and urgency, connection and independence, responsibility and freedom, community and individuality, tradition and modernity, nature and urbanity, work and play, education and entertainment, art and technology, memory and aspiration, all blending into one continuous stream of existence, forming a living, breathing, evolving, enduring, and inspiring tapestry of life, culture, struggle, triumph, joy, sorrow, learning, teaching, caring, connecting, dreaming, imagining, acting, celebrating, enduring, creating, reflecting, and living fully, in one continuous, unbroken, seamless river of human experience that flows through every corner, every street, every field, every home, every institution, every park, every school, every market, every river, forest, and landscape in Ukraine, connecting people, experiences, emotions, actions, memories, hopes, dreams, creativity, resilience, culture, and humanity in one long, flowing, uninterrupted story of life, growth, hope, love, struggle, triumph, learning, teaching, caring, reflecting, dreaming, imagining, acting, creating, connecting, celebrating, enduring, surviving, thriving, evolving, honoring, remembering, and living fully. In a small town in western Ukraine, a teacher named Alina wakes up before dawn, preparing lessons for her students, thinking about how to inspire them to love learning despite challenges. She brews coffee, eats a simple breakfast, checks her messages, and heads to the school where children are waiting, some sleepy, some excited, some carrying worries from home. She guides them through lessons in literature, mathematics, and science, encouraging curiosity, critical thinking, and creativity. Meanwhile, in Kiev, a young doctor named Andriy puts on his uniform and heads to a hospital that is already busy. Patients arriving with minor injuries, illnesses, and emergencies. He coordinates with nurses, prescribes treatments, consoles families, comforts the sick, all while keeping track of his own exhaustion and stress, but finding purpose and meaning in helping others. In the countryside, a farmer named Petro wakes up to tend his fields, checking crops, repairing equipment, teaching his children the value of hard work, observing the weather, planning the next season, harvesting fruits and vegetables that will feed families and local markets. While in a bustling city, students gather in cafes, libraries, and dormitories, studying late into the night, discussing projects, preparing for exams, volunteering in community initiatives, learning not only subjects but the importance of empathy, responsibility, and civic engagement. Families across the nation prepare for holidays, decorating homes, cooking traditional meals, singing songs, dancing, celebrating milestones such as birthdays, weddings, and anniversaries, sharing stories of ancestors, teaching children traditions, festivals bringing entire communities together to celebrate music, dance, crafts, and culinary heritage. Street musicians perform in city squares, children play in parks, elders sit on benches remembering times past. The aroma of fresh bread, coffee, roasted meats, vegetables, and fruits filling the air, conversations floating between laughter, debate, concern, and encouragement. Volunteers organize drives to support displaced families, collect clothing, food, medicine, and educational materials. Young entrepreneurs open cafes, startups, and creative studios. Artists create murals, sculptures, paintings, and performances that blend tradition with modernity. Musicians compose songs mixing folk melodies with contemporary rhythms. Writers pen novels, essays, and poems that capture the essence of Ukrainian life, nature, and culture, all contributing to a vibrant, dynamic society. Throughout cities like Lviv, Odessa, Kharkiv, Dnipro, and Kiev, life unfolds in a continuous rhythm. From the quiet of early morning to the bustling midday, to the reflective evening, and the serene night, families gather, Children play, adults work, elders reminisce, friends meet, lovers walk hand in hand, neighbors help each other, all amidst the backdrop of changing seasons. Winter snow blanketing fields and streets, children making snowmen, families celebrating holidays with warmth and laughter, summer bringing long days, festivals, picnics, river swims, community gardens thriving, autumn harvests bringing together communities for collective work and celebration, spring signaling renewal, planting, and hope. The cyclical nature of life reminding everyone of growth, resilience, and continuity. Citizens face economic challenges, fluctuating prices, political changes, infrastructure issues, yet they persist, find solutions, support one another, volunteer, innovate, and adapt. Life is a balance of routine and spontaneity, work and rest, fear and courage, loss and joy, each moment contributing to the tapestry of life, stories of ordinary people intertwining with historical, cultural, and social currents, forming a continuous narrative. Each smile, each act of kindness, each effort, each creation, each teaching moment, each volunteer initiative, each personal achievement adding to the collective memory. The river of life in Ukraine flowing through homes, schools, hospitals, markets, streets, fields, forests, rivers, parks, libraries, cafes, churches, monuments, factories, offices, classrooms, playgrounds, and landscapes, connecting generations, experiences, emotions, actions, memories, hopes, dreams, resilience, culture, and humanity. Life moving forward in one uninterrupted stream, ordinary and extraordinary. Moments blending together, hardship and triumph, joy and sorrow, laughter and tears, reflection and action, patience and urgency, creativity and routine, community and individuality, tradition and innovation, nature and urbanity, work and play, education and leisure, art and technology, memory and aspiration, fear and courage, perseverance and celebration, growth and decline, each day bringing new opportunities, new challenges, new joys, new sorrows as people continue to learn, teach, care, create, volunteer, celebrate, dream, act, connect, reflect, endure, persevere, evolve, survive, thrive, love, hope, struggle, and live fully, forming an endless, flowing, uninterrupted, seamless story of life, culture, resilience, humanity, and hope, in one continuous, unbroken, intricate, vibrant, resilient, and beautiful narrative of existence in Ukraine, where each person contributes to the collective story, shaping the present, remembering the past, imagining the future, and sustaining life. In its many dimensions, ordinary and extraordinary, fragile and strong, fleeting and lasting, quiet and loud, slow and fast, simple and complex, challenging and rewarding, communal and deeply personal, connecting individuals, communities, regions, and generations in a living, breathing, evolving, enduring tapestry of experience, filled with learning, teaching, caring, creating, acting, dreaming, imagining, connecting, celebrating, reflecting, persevering, enduring, surviving, thriving, honoring, remembering, and living fully, each thread contributing to the continuous river of life, flowing through every corner of Ukraine, rich in stories, experiences, culture, history, resilience, triumph, joy, sorrow, love, hope, struggle, growth, creativity, learning, teaching, caring, connecting, celebrating, enduring, surviving, thriving, imagining, acting, reflecting, honoring, remembering, creating, and living fully. In Kharkiv, a nurse named Katerina starts her day before sunrise, putting on her uniform, checking the schedule, preparing medications, calming anxious patients, coordinating with doctors, while thinking about her own children at home and how to balance work and family. In Odessa, a fisherman named Mykola pushes his boat into the morning waves, checking nets, assessing weather, preparing for a day of work that will feed his family and local markets, teaching his children patience, resilience, and respect for the sea. In Lviv, an artist named Sofia wakes early to paint murals that blend traditional Ukrainian patterns with contemporary messages. She sketches, mixes colors, applies paint carefully to walls, communicates stories of culture, history, hope, and freedom to passers-by, inspiring young and old alike. In Dnipro, a student named Ivan studies late into the night in a small dorm room, surrounded by books and notes, dreaming of creating technology that will help his country, volunteering on weekends to tutor children, participating in local initiatives, balancing ambition and service, while across the nation families prepare for holidays, cooking traditional meals like borscht, vareniki, holubtsai, decorating homes, singing songs, telling stories of ancestors, teaching children the value of traditions, preparing for festivals that bring communities together to celebrate music, dance, crafts, and food, the streets alive with chatter, laughter, debates, and reflections, volunteers delivering supplies to displaced families, distributing clothing, food, medicine, and educational materials, young entrepreneurs opening cafes, tech startups, and creative studios, musicians composing songs blending folk and modern melodies, writers creating novels, essays, and poetry capturing Ukrainian life, nature, and culture, schools filled with learning, creativity, and curiosity, elders sitting on benches recalling memories, sharing wisdom, community gardens thriving, children playing, adults working, friends meeting, lovers walking hand in hand, neighbors helping each other, citizens facing economic challenges, fluctuating prices, political changes, infrastructure issues, yet finding solutions, adapting, volunteering, innovating, persevering, celebrating, balancing routine and spontaneity, work and rest, fear and courage, loss and joy, moments contributing to the tapestry of life, stories intertwining with historical, cultural, and social currents, forming a continuous narrative where each smile, act of kindness, effort, creation, teaching moment, volunteer initiative, and personal achievement adds to the collective memory, life flowing through homes, schools, hospitals, markets, streets, fields, forests, rivers, parks, libraries, cafes, churches, monuments, factories, offices, playgrounds, and landscapes, connecting generations, experiences, emotions, actions, memories, hopes, and dreams, a seamless story of existence, resilience, culture, and humanity, where ordinary moments carry profound meaning, communities bonded by shared experiences, streets filled with energy, homes with laughter and stories, markets with smells and voices, schools with curiosity and learning, hospitals with care and determination, fields with labor and growth, parks with play and relaxation, cities with ambition and innovation, villages with tradition and continuity, festivals with music, dance, and celebration. Every act contributing to the richness, complexity, and beauty of living in Ukraine, a nation of contrasts, resilience, creativity, tradition, innovation, hardship, triumph, love, hope, struggle, reflection, joy, sorrow, laughter, tears, learning, teaching, caring, working, dreaming, imagining, acting, connecting, celebrating, enduring, creating, reflecting, and living fully, a continuous, flowing, uninterrupted, seamless story of life, culture, resilience, humanity, and hope, each person contributing to the collective story, shaping the present, remembering the past, imagining the future, sustaining life in its many dimensions, ordinary and extraordinary, fragile and strong, fleeting and lasting, quiet and loud, slow and fast, simple and complex, challenging and rewarding, communal and deeply personal, connecting individuals, communities, regions, and generations in a living, breathing, evolving, enduring tapestry of experiences, filled with learning, teaching, caring, creating, acting, dreaming, imagining, connecting, celebrating, reflecting, persevering, enduring, surviving, thriving, honoring, remembering, and living fully, each thread contributing to the continuous river of life, flowing through every corner of Ukraine, rich with stories, experiences, culture, history, resilience, triumph, joy, sorrow, love, hope, struggle, growth, creativity, learning, teaching, caring, connecting, celebrating, enduring, surviving, thriving, imagining, acting, reflecting, honoring, remembering, creating, and living fully, where cities, towns, villages, fields, forests, rivers, streets, homes, workplaces, schools, offices, hospitals, markets, parks, libraries, cafes, churches, monuments, factories, classrooms, playgrounds, and landscapes all form an interconnected, unbroken, flowing, intricate, vibrant, resilient, and beautiful narrative of existence, humanity, culture, resilience, and hope. And where every sunrise brings new opportunities, every sunset offers reflection, and every human interaction is a chance to connect, learn, teach, love, hope, persevere, and contribute to the continuous river of life, living fully, enduring courageously, dreaming boldly, creating persistently, loving fiercely, and celebrating meaningfully, forming one uninterrupted, seamless, endless, flowing story of life in Ukraine, in all its ordinary and extraordinary moments, joys, sorrows, struggles, triumphs, traditions, innovations, work, play, education, leisure, art, technology, reflection, connection, creativity, and humanity. And finally, as the sun sets over Kyiv, Lviv, Odessa, Kharkiv, Dnipro, and all the villages and towns across Ukraine, people pause for a moment, reflecting on the day, The work accomplished, the lessons learned, the laughter shared, the tears shed, the kindness given and received, children returning from school, tired but full of stories, parents preparing dinner, sharing moments of warmth and conversation, elders resting, recalling memories and passing wisdom to younger generations, friends meeting in cafes, parks, and streets to talk about hopes, dreams, challenges, and future plans, artists putting finishing touches on paintings and murals, musicians performing final notes of the day, writers completing pages of stories and poems that capture the soul of the nation, volunteers ensuring those in need are supported, farmers finishing their day in the fields, planning for tomorrow, checking crops, equipment, and livestock, young entrepreneurs closing shops or offices reflecting on the steps they have taken to build something meaningful, students reviewing notes, preparing for the next day, thinking about what they will create, learn, or achieve, families sharing meals with traditional dishes, stories, laughter, and love, communities preparing for upcoming festivals, holidays, or rituals, citizens taking stock of challenges faced, problems solved, hopes nurtured, and goals pursued, realizing that despite hardships, economic fluctuations, political uncertainties, conflicts, natural challenges, and personal struggles, life continues, resilient, persistent, vibrant, connected, and beautiful. And as night falls, lights glow in windows across homes, schools, hospitals, shops, streets, and public spaces, illuminating the stories of countless people. Teachers, doctors, nurses, students, farmers, artists, musicians, writers, volunteers, entrepreneurs, children, elders, neighbors, families, friends, and strangers, all contributing to the living tapestry of Ukraine, a nation defined by resilience, culture, history, love, hope, creativity, struggle, triumph, tradition, innovation, community, individuality, ordinary and extraordinary moments, joy and sorrow, laughter and tears, work and play, reflection and action, learning and teaching, caring and creating, dreaming and imagining, acting and connecting, celebrating and persevering, enduring, surviving, thriving, honoring the past, nurturing the present, and shaping the future, forming a continuous, flowing, unbroken, seamless river of human experience that binds generations, communities, cities, villages, fields, forests, rivers, streets, homes, workplaces, schools, offices, hospitals, markets, parks, libraries, cafes, churches, monuments, factories, classrooms, playgrounds, and landscapes in one long, intricate, vibrant, resilient, and beautiful story of life, culture, humanity, and hope, where each person's effort, smile, meal shared, act of kindness, creative work, teaching moment, volunteer initiative, and personal achievement adds to the collective memory and strength of the nation, flowing endlessly like a river, carrying with it the dreams, struggles, triumphs, fears, joys, love, hope, work, play, creativity, reflection, connection, learning, teaching, caring, creating, acting, celebrating, enduring, surviving, thriving, imagining, dreaming, persevering, evolving, honoring, remembering, and living fully, forming one continuous, uninterrupted, seamless, rich, complex, vibrant, resilient, inspiring, and profoundly human narrative of life in Ukraine, in which every sunrise brings new opportunities, every sunset offers reflection, and every human interaction is a chance to connect, teach, learn, love, hope, persevere, and contribute to the flowing river of existence, completing the circle of ordinary and extraordinary moments, struggles and triumphs, joys and sorrows, fears and courage, losses and love, simplicity and complexity, quiet reflection and bustling activity, tradition and innovation, work and play, education and leisure, art and technology, memory and aspiration, forming a final, unbroken, flowing, eternal story of life in Ukraine, resilient, enduring, creative, loving, hopeful, vibrant, interconnected, human, and alive in every moment, every action, every dream, every effort, every heart, every home, every street, every field, every river, every forest, every city, every village, carrying forward the spirit of a nation and the living story of its people, now and for generations to come.